When the girls were about 20 months old, they went through this phase where they didn't want to sit in the stroller, they didn't want to sit in the shopping trolley, cart, buggy, whatever you want to call it when we're at the shops, and they just wanted to walk, they just wanted to be free. And so we had those cute little animal backpacks that had the leashes because, the two of them, they would take off in opposite directions. And this way it gave me a little bit of corralling them near me and just keeping them safe. And we were at Walmart and there was a big display of big packs of disposable plates. And for some reason, my girls felt that those disposable plates needed a hug. See, they'd been going through there, you've got to hug this pole and hug that fence post, So apparently plates needed hugs too. And here they are doing it. And this older lady just stopped and she looked at the girls and she looked at me and she looked back at the girls and was like, disgusting. And she walked off and I'm a little sort of hurt inside. And I'm then thinking, what was disgusting? The girls on the leashes, me letting them hug plates. I mean, come on, plates need love too. And it really sort of where's the support in that? It was so quick and easy to cut down. It still sort of sticks to me in my mind because it's we need to be supporting each other and not just be quick to cut people down when maybe we don't fully understand what the situation is. And that's what I want to look at today, parenting support and how we can support each other. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me today as I want to continue on with our Parenting Today series, and particularly today looking at parenting support, because this is something that we really do need to do, support each other. And speaking of support, if you like these videos, you can support me through sharing them with your friends or maybe writing a comment and saying hello, subscribe. Let's just be part of this Learning Life community together. Well, parenting is tough, right? I think every generation would say that. Every generation sort of faces a new challenge sort of coming along, whether it was in the industrial age and we've got to go out and work or, today's society of social media. And I think that just makes it a little tougher because, you see, we can sort of hide behind it a bit and get to be very judgmental. It's easy to make those little snippy retorts and look at what people are doing and being oh, well, I can't believe that they're doing that. And it saddens me sometimes because I just think, what, as parents, we should be out there supporting each other. Why is one mum tearing another mum down? A dad posts something that he does and it's oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that. No, why can't we see the good in what each other is doing? Why can't we just really love each other well and support? Because I know I need that support. I need that encouragement. It's not always easy. And the other challenge is really, well, we only see the good, their life can't be like that. Yeah, no, it's not, and yes, we do. We want to share the good, we don't want to share necessarily the ugly and the bad. I'm not big into sort of shaming my girls online. There are times that they've done things or, we've had rough days, and I do want to share that with friends to just say, hey, this is real life. Sometimes we just need that little encouragement and be I've had a rough day, please tell me you've had days like this too. Support is so important. And, it's not just on social media. It's also when we're out in public. There was another situation. We're at the grocery store one day. I just needed to grab a few things. One of the girls didn't have shoes and she didn't want to be in the trolley and decided to melt down. And so the other decided, well, if she can melt down, I can melt down. Let's just make this double the fun for mum. And normally at that point, I would just pick them up and leave. I'm not dealing with this, but I really needed those two items. Karsten was away and I remember trying to, push along one of the double trolleys, which are always bulkier and heavier, and had another one underneath my arm, flailing and wailing, and I just wanted to go and pay for these two items and leave. And this lady walks by and she just looks at me, she goes, "Get your children under control." And I remember then after buying the items, just sitting in the car crying, thinking, you know what, you don't know what I'm going through today. You don't know how hard it is. Did you really have to make that comment? She really didn't, and how different things could have been if she just had, oh, I'm sorry, or even just a smile or you've got this, it's okay. Because you know what? Children do just want to melt down in public at the worst possible time. I mean, it just seems to be the luck of the draw sometimes. And, we should be there trying to help each other. And it's really has sort of challenged me, in how I view and see other parents when they're out and I see their children maybe melting down because, you know what? Our children, it's they're ooh, we're in public. Let me melt down. I also remember a flight to Australia, and this flight attendant was just not nice. It was like she just didn't want children on the flight, felt that we shouldn't be having children on the flight, and she did everything that she could to make things just uncomfortable for us. There was at one point, the girls just needed to stretch their legs, and we were down the back, sort of out of people's way. They just needed a few minutes, and she comes up and she's like, you can't be here. And I said, okay, we just need a couple of minutes and we'll go back to the seat. And she just, you could tell, was not happy about that. And I said, look, I take responsibility if they fall or anything, it's on me. And then this dad came down with his child, and we're just standing there, just sort of chatting, letting our kids, just sort of stretch their legs and move a bit. We weren't in anyone's way. We weren't blocking anything. And this flight attendant then comes and she picks up the phone. She calls the pilot and it's like, you need to put the seatbelt sign on right now. And so they did. And then she turns around. She goes, oh, look at that. You've got to go back to your seats. And it was just things just rising up in me, but I let it go. But she made it worse later. And I do remember telling her what I thought of her. Actually, not all of what I thought of her. That wouldn't have been helpful. That flight attendant, yeah, not my favorite person in all the world. There was another flight attendant that came up afterwards and apologized and was like, I am so sorry. I'm like, you know what? It's not you. This woman should not be around children. You know what? She didn't have to make a long journey that tough. My girls didn't ask us to take them on a long haul flight, but we wanted them to be able to meet their family and to be part of their culture and to see that, we need to support. To me, it doesn't matter if we do things differently as parents, because we do. I breastfed my children, yes, I let them have sugar, the vaccines, how late do we let them stay up? You know what? It doesn't matter if you're all organic and don't vaccinate and only want to do that. Who cares? Let us do what works for us as a family, but we can still love each other and encourage each other and support each other in our parenting and going, you've got this. And we can love each other and support each other well in that. I just think that is just, it's easy. If we're in the shops and we see a child melting down, maybe it is just a kind word or you've got this, or can I help you? As parents, I think we understand this. I just helped a friend the other day. We're at Aldi and she's got 4 young children, brand new baby. And I didn't have the girls, which was nice. And we sort of got out to our cars. I'm like, can I help you? Just load your stuff. She's like, yes, please. And then taking back the trolley, it wasn't hard. It was a couple of minutes extra out of my time. You know what? I probably would have done it even if I had the girls. These are little things that we can do to help. I often feel like we need to be in Katniss in the Hunger Games, and we need to have sort of some signal, we see another parent's I've got you. We've got this, just that kind word, that smile. Mums groups, these are important. I think mums tend to gravitate together, maybe especially if they're not working outside the home. It's just I need to be around other adults, but it's also a safe place to be able to say, oh, this went down, and somebody else to go, you know what, it's okay. Been there, done that, wearing the emotional scars. I think mums tend to form these groups and do really well. You know what? I think dads need them too. I jokingly have said sometimes, I think dads who have only daughters should get together as a little support group, and they can be the, dads of only daughters, the dudes. And, and they can say things like, oh, I think my daughter's going through puberty. And the other one goes, here, mate, have a beer. Been there, done that. You got this. Another great way for getting some parent support is parent coaching. And this is sort of on the rise. And yes, I'm saying, parent coaching because that is something that I love to do and I am available for. What is parent coaching? Well, it's life coaching for parents. Maybe a parent coach is not a trained psychologist or anything like that, but it comes from years of experience. My niche particularly is education, coming from my years of teaching, working with kids with disabilities and learning issues. I love to support parents. You know what? I am here. And sometimes it's just great to have that safe place of being like, I need some help. Maybe it is on discipline. And you know what? I've been trying these techniques. They're not working. You know what? I love to be able to help sort of creatively brainstorm some ideas that might work based on your child's personality. I mean, yes, I have some creative techniques that I use with my girls, like I've come up with based on their personality and based on our family sort of personality and what works. I like to bring a fair bit of humor into it. How can we change the emotion of a situation? Maybe it is on education. This is a niche that I have. I love education and I love helping parents with it. Maybe it's with some homeschooling ideas or how can I best work with my children? I need to support more with literacy. Let me help you with some ideas on that. Or maybe you need some educational support for your child if they're having some learning issues. Maybe they need a 504 plan or an IEP, an individual education program. I love being able to help parents with that because it can feel overwhelming and daunting if your child has perhaps been diagnosed with something. It's not the end of the world. How can we help to make your child's schooling and education successful? I've been in 504 meetings with parents just there as that support to try and just sort of help bounce off ideas, to help parents prepare a list of these are the things that we see that our child needs, and to make sure that there is an advocate there. Let's help you. Let's make sure that we're getting the best support for your child so that their schooling, so their education is a success, that we can bring this then into the home life and make that successful for you. Guess what? You're not on your own and you can do it. And other people have been through this before and there will be others after you as well. So parenting support through parent coaching really is a wonderful, wonderful help. And it doesn't have to be long term, but to be able to have a coach that be like, yes, I can help you. If you just need that help, reach out. Reach out and ask. I'm here. I would love to help you. And I know that sounds like a shameless plug, but it is because this is my heart. I would love to help you because I just fully believe in supporting each other, whether or not it's discipline or education or how do I get my children to eat vegetables? Whatever it is, we can be there for each other. So when you see another parent, you know what? Salute. Smile. Say, you've got this. We can so easily build each other up. Shoot a text or a meme to a friend to just make them smile and to make their day and say, hey, I know that you can do this. And if you haven't heard from them in a while, just reach out and say, hey, how are you doing? Because when we support each other and we build each other up, this thing called parenting, and parenting today is just so much easier. Thank you so much for watching today. And I hope you hear my heart in this, that, we can have rough times, but we really can support each other. And another way that maybe you could support Learning Life is by becoming a champion through Patreon so that I can continue to get messages out like this and information so that we can all learn this life together. Thank you.